Hi, in this video we're going to be talking about specific objectives and going over some examples as to why all of the parts matter. So in this video we're going to give an overview of specific objectives, and here I use the 5-part objective, although the 5th part is optional. We're going to look at some examples of good objectives, and then we're going to look at some problems with skipping a part of the objectives, and I'll give a little conclusion at the end. So first up, the objective template. Student will be able to demonstrate is what SWABAT-D stands for. Student will be able to demonstrate. Bloom's explicitly stated. So this is knowing, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, or creating, although the words knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, evaluation, and creation fit better into the sentence structure. Now we have a keyword, which is of. So student will be able to demonstrate Bloom's level of content. Now this content does not have to be extremely comprehensive. It just needs to be a set-off, kind of a trigger phrase. Another keyword, by. And then we're going to look at observable actions. So observable actions are things that you can see, touch, feel, or hear. Maybe taste, depending on your content, but for most of the contents, tasting isn't going to be one of the things you're going to be able to do. At percent accuracy, and this is optional. Administrators are going to want to say that you need to be at 100% accuracy. However, a lot of times that's not how it works, and there's a lot of nuances here. So administrators are going to want you to write your specific objective so that you can always reach 100% accuracy, but what ends up happening is that you just kind of water down your objective and it gets wonky. I mean, there's two sides to the coin. For this example, it's optional. So here are some examples, and you'll notice I don't use accuracy. Student will be able to demonstrate application of creating history by drawing a picture of their family tree back 4 generations. That's very clear. You know exactly what's happening in the classroom. You know exactly why they're doing it. Student will be able to demonstrate evaluation of the defense of the British soldiers during the Boston Massacre by writing a critique of the transcription of John Adams' closing arguments from the trial. Now clearly this is a higher level, probably 9th or 10th grade level objective, but you know exactly what's going to be happening in this class. And the final one is a science one that looks kind of fun. Student will be able to demonstrate analysis of ionic and covalent bonds by creating a short skit that demonstrates the properties and characteristics of ionic and covalent bonds. So you'll notice that the observable activities for each of them are created such that you can always see that all students have learned in some way, shape, or form. So now we're going to look at some examples of what happens when you skip a part, because I get a lot of feedback that this formula is very rigid and doesn't help, but it really does help. And when you skip a part, some bad things can happen. So let's look at that. So if you're missing Bloom's, an objective might look like this. Student will be able to demonstrate practicing map reading skills by going on a scavenger hunt of the classroom. So, okay, let's try and tease apart this objective. Okay, we want them to practice map reading skills. They're going on a scavenger hunt of the classroom. Okay, well, without knowing what level of Bloom's, if this is demonstrating maybe knowledge of map reading skills by going on, or maybe understanding, golly, it could even be applying a practice of map reading skills. But you see what happens when we try and peg this in a level of Bloom's taxonomy, it gets really confusing really quickly. So let's go on and see what happens when we miss the content. And this one's missing the SWABAT as well. After reading A River Runs Through It, students will be able to verbally express and relate their lives to events and characters in the book. Okay, well, this is missing Bloom's too, but why are they doing this? What goal are we trying to accomplish with this objective? Are we trying to help them understand the text, maybe? Are we trying to help them with I really don't know what the intent of this is because the pedagogical content hasn't been described. Okay, the next one, with a missing or wrong activity. Student will be able to demonstrate analysis of the Monroe Doctrine by understanding the importance of U.S.-Japan relationships post-World War II. And you might say, well, there's an activity there. They're understanding the importance. Okay, show me what understanding the importance of U.S.-Japan relationships looks like. It doesn't look like anything because it's an internal process. It's not an activity. So there's no activity in this objective. It looks like there is, but there's not. Student will be able to demonstrate by creating an artifact from the past by using modeling clay. Okay. What is this activity telling us? That students can use modeling clay? It gets really wonky, and you'll notice that the content's not clear because the activity doesn't tell us anything about it. All of the parts of the objective, except for, of course, the accuracy, work together to create a meaningful picture of what's happening during instruction. So in conclusion, our objective looks like this. Student will be able to demonstrate, and then we explicitly write Bloom's taxonomy of the cognitive domain as a level. So knowing, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, or creating. And then we write out our content. What exactly are the pedagogical ideas we'd like our students to know? And then finally, the observable activity that will verify that all students in the classroom have learned. It might not be exactly an assessment, nothing so formal as that, but if all students are able to answer maybe one question, then they have demonstrated that they've learned the key content. And then finally, percent accuracy, if that's required by either your professor or your school district. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks. Bye.